Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. Let's see, where do we want to start today's video? How about this? Right now, stock futures are higher across the board, pointing towards a rally right out of the gate. Oh, and it's just a coincidence, of course, that crude oil is higher yet again, nearing $72 a barrel. You know the game. They're not going to let crude fall. Forget about it. And if it does, if crude oil were to fall, let me ask your opinion. What are you going to do? You're going to buy the dip maybe? Oh, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do, people. Buy them all the dips moving forward here, all the talk that we have been hearing as of late with regard to action of the Federal Reserve is all a distraction. It's all over this morning. I'm watching Bloomberg. I'm flipping back to CNBC. It's the same thing. It's, oh, the Fed's going to taper faster. Oh, the Fed's going to raise rates here. We even got a warning today from Goldman Sachs, who's following up the back door of Bank of America, warning on the market next year. Again, what just happened? Goldman Sachs lowered their GDP forecast for the United States moving forward. What you're not allowed to know is global GDP is plummeting. All right, and you know the setup here. Why? Well, central banks around the world want to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. So as a percentage of GDP, the global economy is cratering. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Apparently, we got some good news. The trade deficit, let's see, still in historic territory, did come down last month. So that's supposed to be a good thing. Look, it's all just nonsense here, people. These numbers with regard to debts and deficits are out of control. They're not going to stop by design. I think you all know that. So anyway, let's go back a moment here. So, like I said, stock futures higher across the board. And it's just a coincidence that crude oil is getting a bit higher too, yet again. Surged yesterday. It's surging right now. Let's talk about the yield curve. Okay, the yield curve, I told you over the last several weeks, has been going down, 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 down. A sign of an economy that's in dire shape, and also a sign of fear. You all know that when you see bond yields drop, what's the mechanism behind that? It's very, very simple. It's cash making its way into the perceived safety of debt. So you got all this cash, coming out of the stock market, making its way into the debt market. That's a fear trade for the most part. But we were lacking the general knee jerk into the dollar. Okay, but the dollar right now, people, we all know, all fiat currencies are dying entities. And that's really the truth, as central banks continue to attempt, and very successfully, to break the global economy so they can fulfill their end game, like I covered yesterday, to become the lenders and buyers of last resort, the rulers of the world, period, the end. It might sound like something out of a conspiracy movie, but it's actually a fact. This is the goal of the central banks, to own it all, and that's exactly what they're doing here, people. So with that said, ignore the nonsense that you're probably hearing this morning about Fed tapering and Fed raising rates and central banks about to, cut back on asset purchases. It's not going to happen. Their goal is to continue to buy assets, to create cash out of thin air and buy assets. That's simple. That is going to be a mechanism here to keep the market propped up, to keep distortions getting worse across the spectrum of asset classes. Let's move on. Cryptocurrencies right now catching a bid. Bitcoin about 51,000 right now. Gold slightly lower. I just looked at it. Silver about at the flat line. Look, let them play their game, people. There's no price discovery here. There's no price discovery anywhere anymore. It's a market gone insane on the back of easy money policies, which have been in effect since 2008 with no end in sight. None. Zero. So with that said, I think you understand what's going on here. The Dixie, the relative strength of the dollar, is slightly higher this morning. The MMRI, and I want you to keep your eyes on this, people. let me ask you, okay, those of you lions out here who understand the market, tell me in the comment section, have you seen ever a better risk indicator than the MMRI? I know a lot of you follow the VIX or volatility. Does that really help you? Did it really help you to gauge market risk? I'd be willing to bet no, okay, because I don't think there's another guy who's more immersed in the market than I am. And to me, following the VIX or volatility is a waste of time. You want to follow a real indicator that's going to tell you about risk in this market? It's the MMRI. Link in the description of this video. The MMRI right now is 87. Okay. Okay, that's it's still in a good spot, and you know how I feel about this. If you've been following my work, I don't like it above 90 in this environment. That doesn't mean that we're going to be running for the hills, people. We're just going to be more aware. Look, when the MMRI drops, and it clearly, demonstrates that risk in the market is dropping, so that means cash is going to make its way back into the stock market, as we have seen time and time again with the MMRI dropping. When it starts to move higher or above 90, or if it gets into, let's say, 100, which is moderate risk, it doesn't mean we're going to change what we're doing. It just means we got to be more aware of what's going on, pay more attention to geopolitical events, and of course, watch crude oil, watch that yield curve too. But like I said, people, I promise to keep you on top of all this, and I won't ever let you down. I won't do it. Not on my watch will you lose. The only way you're going to lose under my watch is if you decide to go listen to some other freak out here pretending to be some kind of a market expert. There's a lot of them. You go out here on YouTube, and there's a lot of guys out here who I don't know what they're trying to do. They're not even in the market, most of these people. They have no idea what's going on. They don't realize the drivers behind the market, how they're working, what the end game is. Just turn them off. I'm telling you, turn them off. They're going to lead you astray. They're going to make you do the wrong thing. And more than likely, what they're trying to do is make you afraid. All right? I don't want you to be afraid of a darn thing, like I've been telling you over and over again. I just want you to be aware of what is going on here, people. And it's just an epic shit show. Can I say that? Yeah, I think I can, because it's my video blog and I can do what I want. It seems that YouTube does block certain words, but shit show is not one of them. So we can say shit show. Can you say shit show for me? Put that in the comment sections. Yeah, Greg, it's a freaking shit show. So anyway, people, with that in mind, I explained to you what's happening here for the most part. I want to touch on one other thing, because I wake up this morning and I see, Greg, what about Evergrande? Greg, what about Evergrande? Greg, what about Evergrande? Look, I understand the fear here, and I know for a fact that there is a couple of people out here trying to make you afraid of something yet again. I have told all of you since day one, that this Evergrande thing was not going to be the black swan that everyone thought it was going to be, or what they were told. People, let me explain this to you. When the inevitable end to this entire shit show comes, very few people, in fact no one, is going to see it coming. It's going to be from some kind of outlying event. It always is. It's always the same. So when you hear a person, anybody, okay, you're not going to ever hear this from Greg Mannarino. When you hear of a person say, oh, look at this, look at Evergrande, look at whatever the hell else they want you to look at, that's it. That's the black swan. That's the event that's going to bring everything down. Laugh. Laugh at them, because I'm telling you right here and right now, it's going to be unforeseen. It's going to be something that they are going to allow to happen. Okay, it's what they always do, people. The markets are not what they seem to be. You all know that. They're under direct control of central banks. The world is under direct control of central banks and the big Wall Street banks who are running it all. Okay, and they will choose the moment when this whole thing comes down, and like I said, forget about it. Don't point your fingers at anything. Don't listen to anyone trying to tell you. That's it. It's just a distraction, people. So with regard to Evergrande, and all of those of you who have wrote to me this morning, you had to see my email box. Evergrande. Yes, I understand the situation over there with Evergrande. Do you think I'm stupid? No. I'm on top of this market. Believe me, probably more than anybody else, at least that I know of. Maybe not you, but people that I know of personally. But anyway, so yes, there's issues there, but it's not going to be the big one. Could we see volatility because of if there's an actual default? Yeah, sure. But what would Greg Mannarino tell you to do? Let me think. Maybe buy the dips? People, as long as the Federal Reserve and central banks are determined to fulfill their end game, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, it's not going to stop. The easy money is going to pour into this market. Rates are going to stay suppressed. Fiat currencies around the world are going to crater. Inflation is going to skyrocket. They're trying to destroy the global economy so they can literally rule the world. I'm not kidding. Anyway, I did write a few other things down here. Let me see what I got going. I told you about Goldman Sachs warning about next year, following up Bank of America. I mean, please stop these big bank people. And I know you guys. I know some of you guys that work at these banks, and you follow my work too. So let's just stop the dog shit now, please. Okay. Anyway, look, I have more stuff to talk about, but this morning video is getting awfully long, and I don't like to do that. Anyway, look, real quick, a heads up. My post-market video report later is probably going to be a little early because I have something I have to take care of. So I don't know for sure. I'm going to try to move things around, but I will do another video later. It might not be after the market. It might be close to the end, but we'll sum it up either way, people. I got your back. I will never let you down. You all know that. It's not going to happen. You never, ever have to have the slightest doubt at all that Greg Mannarino has your back, because I do, and I know you have mine. Love you a lot. Please share the video. I'll see all of you later on.